Once you log in, this is the view you will see. I'm going to drag 4 files onto this and do an upload and analysis. You notice that it's going to process those 4 files, and it immediately invokes 3 workers, distributing 3 of those files to each. Those workers read the files, analyze them, and convert them into the back-end database format. Since the workers are processing them independently, it will take about 1/3 as long to process them sequentially. There it finished. One of the files is remaining. Now, for each file, if any anomalies are found in the data, they will appear in this section. It shows, for example, that some details in the CLE trend file are incorrect. You can accept it as is, exclude it from the file, or mark it for review. There are 2 ways to do this. One is from the individual selection on the right, or use the bulk actions at the top. I am going to accept each of them as is for demo purposes. Now, I'm going to show you how it connects to the box, or Google Drive, and processes files. Here I'm going to connect to the box by logging in and authorizing this application to access your box drive. This login is whatever you have set up on the box side. I have enabled MFA. You have to enter the MFA code from the Authenticator app. Once it submits, it asks you to authorize the BADDA Proforma application to access your files. You can now see the File Explorer, where you can navigate to any of the directories in your box drive. I'm going to go to the top of the folder and select all the files. It read through all of the subdirectories and picked up 125 files. And I say Import. It sets up back-end workers to access these files. Now, you see it's downloading those 125 files from Box onto the server to analyze each file. Now, it's going to process it, analyze all 125, and see which are ready for import. While it's doing it, let's look at the Property Explorer from the previous 4 files we imported. Here, you see the CLE, DLA, PCO, and SAR. For every one of those nodes, you can see information, the financial summary, and so on, and you can drill down further for each year. It will show the summary of the financial data. Further for each year, you can see by the different units, data, IL, AL, and MC. And further down, you can see the kind of breakdown for rent, the net income. This is the trend for the different data points. You can move the group nodes to rearrange it the way you like. Now, let's look at some query. Here is where you can enter natural English language text. You see some examples here. You can query, and it will go through, understand what your question is, and run a query against the database, and come back with the data. Here it shows what it found in plain English text. You can see what is the data that is behind this, or you can see the chart of that data plotted. Depending upon the data, the plot may be a bar graph or a line graph. Now, let's look at the reports. You can select properties and say Generate Report. If you select more than one property, it will put into a zip file. Each property has one report, and that's how you will download it. Let's go back and see how the box upload worked, and there it is still processing. You can see that it's allocated 3 workers. There are 5 financial files out of the total 125 files, and one of the file it processed, so it has the next one available. There is 1 file it rejected, and the reason is it's got a bad format. Now again, each file it processed, it comes up with any exceptions that you have to make a choice. I am accepting as is for demo. You may have a different reason to look at that and make some changes. And there it has finished all of the file processing. This concludes this demo.